So you discuss in the book how the way that we use the internet, Google searching, etc., it really puts a premium on just finding quick information rather than deep knowledge and understanding. So can you talk a little about how this affects education and the business world?
I think people often confuse the fact that people can give correct answers with the endpoint of education or indeed of business. Yeah. So we know a parrot can give an answer to something. And an example I like to give is of my little brother, who's much younger than me. So when he was 3, I was 16, 13 years difference. And I hated him and I tried to torture him as much as I was allowed. Torture took the form, because obviously I couldn't do anything invasive. So the torture one was forcing him to learn Shakespeare when he was 3 years old. I thought this was very funny. So he learned like a little parrot. He learned Macbeth. It's a play, Shakespeare's play, Macbeth. And in it, I don't know how familiar you are with the play, but there's a very famous soliloquy which goes, out, brief candle, life is but a poor player, struts and frets. So I had you said to him, Graham, what does that mean? Do you understand what you're saying? Out, brief candle. He would have said something like, well, I have a candle on my birthday cake and I blow it out. What he couldn't have seen was that the extinction of the candle was really a way of talking about the extinction of life, about the extinction of death. Now, understanding, therefore, really, to my mind, is seeing one thing in terms of something else. Yeah. It's the more you understand something, the more you can put it into a context, the more you can see it in terms of other things. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just information, which is why isolated facts, let me be brutal, are not very interesting. And people that just tell you facts is not very interesting. I'm sure in the States you have a game called Trivial Pursuits.
Yeah.
Where people just know facts. Or there's another one, we have pubs in England. We have these pub quizzes where now no one would regard anyone who was good at pub quizzes or Trivial Pursuits as on a par with a Nobel Prize winner. It just wouldn't be the case. This is not the pinnacle of intellectual endeavor. Yeah. Even someone might know lots and lots of facts. Yeah. So knowing facts is fine, but you're turning yourself in a way into a sort of computer, or rather second-rate computer. You're just giving a response to an answer.
Right.
Sometimes, certainly the way science is taught in schools, and that is sadly, because it's a measurable outcome in education especially, people will say, well, that's it, we're done and dusted, job done. But I think we're missing a trick in that if you probe on how well someone understands something, that's the crucial issue. And it's only when you really understand something that you can join up the dots in a new way. And that's really exciting, because that's how you have a new idea, or you suddenly see a new significance in something. But it does require what I call a conceptual framework. That's to say, you need enough dots in order to join them up in different ways and new ways. And I think that if we are narrow-minded and too focused on question and answer or instant response, on processing information, valuable though that may be, we are missing a huge trick in the toolkit of what the human brain can do, which computers cannot do, which is to understand, to deeply understand something. And the more you can connect up, the more astonishing it is. For example, there was a Australian physician called Burnett who realized you could import the principles of evolution, Darwinian evolution, into immunology. So he made this astonishing connection between the way natural selection works in natural history with the immune system. An astonishing leap of,
Wow.
But the more you can see a connection or a link, it's exciting for you, it's beneficial for everyone else, and for me, education should help you do that. And in order to do that, you need time, you need confidence, and you need to know enough different things in order to try and make connections between them, as opposed to just doing knee-jerk reflexes. So that's something I do feel quite strongly about, that the more you can foster real understanding as opposed to loaded little parrots. Do you remember the hothouse children? Remember the hothouse children a while ago? These were kids who from a very early age, from babies, the parents had flashcards and they gave little responses and they were like performing monkeys. I don't think any of them won the Nobel Prize. I don't think any of them wrote Pulitzer, a piece of literature. I don't think anyone
or affected the world like Gandhi, like you were saying.
Yeah, exactly. No one wrote a symphony. So just because you might have a fast and quick way of processing information, and that's again, I think, a mistake that people often make when they take cognitive enhancers like modafinil. They think, I'm going to have a better memory than someone else.
Right. Yeah.
But that's getting it all wrong. You're becoming a poor computer. I don't think Einstein necessarily or Shakespeare, would have done those things well. It was more, the only thing they had in common was they had nothing in common. Namely, they were highly original thinkers. Yeah? And I think, for me, with the increasing automation, let the computers do all that slog, that information processing. We should now be bringing innovation and insight and imagination and creativity and new ways of seeing things, which they can't do, the screens can't do.